Welcome back here to Tri-State Sports Talk on AM 730 KWOA as, we take this time to catch up with a young lady who is absolutely having a fantastic career down at Mississippi State University, former Worthington Trojan standout Martha Alwal joining us. Martha, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well, actually. Earlier today, I went to the high school and visited a few of the teachers that, were a few of my favorites and stuff back in high school, so I'm doing pretty well, and today was a great day so far.
Well, Martha, we really appreciate your time here as, I kind of want to start this by going back a little bit to your high school career as one thing that just really was a lot of fun about watching you in high school, and one thing I was very impressed with, and I still tell people to this day, was when you came from your junior season to your senior season in basketball, and just the turnaround you had and the growth that you had, and tell us a little bit about all you did that summer, because you were very active and I think you gained a lot of confidence, seemed like, going into your senior season, and you had just such a fantastic senior season for the Trojans.
I think the biggest thing for me was my junior year. I had a great senior class in front of me or whatever, so I knew that I'd have help. So I wasn't so I don't want to say confident in myself, but I knew that if I couldn't get the job done, someone else would get the job done. So I really never relied on myself to ever really get the job done. And then that same summer after my junior year, I played AAU for North Tartan. And I think that's what really transitioned how I played my junior year to my senior year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was just so much fun to watch you play with a level of confidence and focus. It was really just a joy to kind of watch you. And, you go on to have a great senior season, and then it's decision time. What led you to choose the Lady Bulldogs of Mississippi State?
I get that question all the time. People are like, how did you end up in Mississippi? You're from Minnesota. How does that happen? And it is kind of crazy, when you sit back and look at it. But no. When I was being recruited by a bunch of colleges and stuff, Coach Fanning, she was the main one that stood out to me. And I could tell that she cared about me as a person. Of course, as a basketball player, she cared about my abilities and stuff, but she really cared about how I was doing in school, how my family was, and she was really genuine. And when I went down and took my visit or whatever, it was great. And Mississippi State just has such a great family atmosphere, so that's what led me down there.
Then obviously you go down there, your freshman season goes well, but, at the same time, some change going on, a new head coach. What were some of the things that, you had to adjust to, dealing with that, because it's a tough situation. I'm sure being so far away from home, you have a wonderful support system, but, you're kind of branching out on your own, too. So what kind of helped you, kind of get through those tough times?
I would say my friends and family back home, because the reason I went down there to begin with was Coach Fanning, and knowing that she was leaving was really hard on me, and I didn't know if I was going to stay at Mississippi State any longer, just because I didn't think there was a point, playing for a different coach that I didn't know. So I had a really hard time with that, and my family and stuff, they were like, just give him a try. If you don't like him, you can always leave, but just give him a try and just try your hardest, work hard all the time. So I gave that a try, and I'm glad I did, because I really love my coach now, and our coaching staff's amazing. I'm so glad that I decided to stay and play under them.
Tell us a little bit about Coach Vic.
He is the most intense man I have ever played for in my entire life. High school is kind of like children relax, but he is so squirrely, and he literally, there are no plays off, and there's never a day off. You think you can come to practice and kind of chill, and no, that never happens. He's constantly yelling, constantly jumping up and down, always in your face and stuff, but he wants the best for you. So when he's yelling at you and stopping practice to point out all the wrongs you're doing, you want to give up and feel bad about yourself, but you can't do that. And he tells us all the time, don't take anything I do personally. I just want the best for you, and I'm trying to get you to the next level. So he's really hard, and he's so demanding. But at the end of the day, he wants the best for me and my teammates. So he's just a really great man. He's really awesome.
Kind of watching some of the press conferences, this year, and I just came away impressed, because I think you nailed it right on the head. He cares a lot about his team, and I think that's something that really is kind of filtered down into Mississippi State, in the sense that you guys have gotten a little bit better each year, and it seems like he does care, and I mean, sometimes it just, you can hear it through words, but just kind of watching him, I guess I was very impressed.
Yeah, no, he is such a genuine man, and he really does care about every single one of us. And just like with basketball, of course, he's always going to be there, but like he cares so much about what's going on in your life. And whenever you're going through something, I always know that like that's the first person to call. Like he just cares so much, and I know he really loves us. So he's just a great coach.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Lady Bulldogs in the sense of, okay, so you get through your freshman season, you go through your sophomore season, and you're open the eyes, I think, of people obviously in the conference with a solid sophomore season, and then you come back this year, and did you feel expectations pretty big coming into a junior season then?
I mean, I knew the expectations were going to be a lot bigger. Just because, like, my sophomore year, I think I did make, like, the second team, and I did all that stuff. And Schaefer was already really demanding, and he told me right after, like, my sophomore season it was over, like, he wants bigger and better from me. He's going to be even harder on me. So I knew that there was going to be a lot more expectations for me, and I knew that I was so much better than, like, how I played my sophomore year. Like, I know that I could have played a lot better. So I had something to prove, too. So I went out my junior year, like, this past season, and I just tried really hard every game to do the best I can.
Well, tell us a little bit about that drive. I mean, I think that's something, since you've gone to Mississippi State and kind of weathered some tough times, and I think your focus and your determination has really been something to be commended because, the work is there. I mean, you can see the hard work that you put on your game throughout the years, and where does this drive come from, Martha?
Honestly, I want to say, like, my mom is, like, the sole reason that I push myself every day, just because I want to give back to her. Like, she does so much for my family. She's a single mother, and I have, like, 5 siblings, including myself at 6. There's so much of us, and she does such a great job of, like, she does the best she can. And so I want to, like, play hard and get to the next level so I can help her, give back to her and my family. And then my coaches, honestly, because I wouldn't be anywhere. I wouldn't be, like, where I'm at today without them. Like, they keep me going. Like, no one ever sees, like, the breakdowns and stuff. And, like, when you're going through tough days or I have a couple bad days in practice, and, like, they never let me stay down. They're always there to encourage me and make sure, I come back faster and stronger and stuff. So my coaches are amazing, along with my teammates, too.
Before we kind of talk about this junior season, again, let's go back to before it. We kind of mentioned about how Mississippi State and the Bulldogs doing a little bit better every year. What were your personal expectations for this team coming into your junior season?
Honestly, I'm going to give you, like, my honest opinion of what I thought was going to be my junior year, whatever.
Okay.
So we won 13 games, like, my sophomore year. And I'm thinking, there's no way we're ever going to go postseason. Honestly, that's what I'm thinking.
Right.
I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, we lost all these seniors, and last year wasn't so great. And then, like, when you have a new coaching staff, it always takes a couple of years to build the program back up. So I'm thinking, we're going to win just as many games as we did in my sophomore year. And then, like, we have a bunch of freshmen coming in, and I knew they were going to play. And I'm like, like, they're good. The freshmen we had were good, but I didn't know how much a freshman can do in the SEC.
Right.
So I'm just thinking, there's going to be no chance of postseason, and Schaefer's promising me, just stick with us, Martha. Like, just, like, have faith in me. We're going to get you to postseason, I promise. I don't care if it's NIT or NCAA, we're going to get you there. So I'm thinking, like, that's just all talk. Like, he's just doing that to keep me, like positive and stuff. And so with the season we had, like, this year, we went to the Elite Eight of the NIT tournament, and that just blew me away. It was just crazy. It's still hard for me, like, to think that we made it this far in the NIT tournament. We're still such a young team. In our second year under Coach Schaefer, it's crazy to me. It's insane.
4th most wins in program history, a 22-14 season, as Martha mentioned, advancing to the quarterfinals of the WNIT. What were some of the keys then? What were some of the keys for the Bulldogs this season to put it all together and make that playoff push in the SEC tournament and, more importantly, in the NIT?
I think the biggest thing for us is that we had a lot more help. Like my sophomore year, I think a lot of teams, like whenever we played, teams really focused on just me and Kendra. But, like, this upcoming year, our freshmen came in, and they did such a great job. And we have a bunch of people that can do different stuff. A lot of them can shoot. A lot of them can drive and stuff. And everyone brought something different to the table that we needed. And then we had a lot of great defenders this year, too, so I think that helped us. We stopped a lot of great teams, and we kept up with a lot of good teams like South Carolina and Tennessee and all them. So I think that would be a big part of why we did as well as we did this year.
Martha Alwal, our guest here on Tri-State Sports Talk, has a fantastic junior season. You were named first team All-SEC, set the school record in blocks. And, Martha, when you get a chance and you look back and see what you've done, I mean, does it kind of just even surprise you a little bit? Because one thing that I love talking to you about is because you always talk about team first. You never really talk about yourself first. But, when you get a chance to look back, are you just kind of floored a little bit?
Sometimes I am. Because, I'll go through a game and I'll score, 25 points. And I'll get, whatever amount of rebounds I get and stuff. And that's just, what Coach expects me to do or whatever. So to see, how I'm playing and stuff and it all coming together and then, being awarded with all the accolades I'm getting is kind of crazy. Because I didn't think, I'm going to get defensive player of the year. I didn't think that was ever going to happen. Making first team, that was always a goal, but I thought it'd be, my senior year I was going to get it. So getting all these awards now is, it's crazy to me. I'm honored to, that people think that much of me, but it is crazy, though. It's hard for me, still, it's just, I don't know. But it's a lot, though.
Well,
yeah, it's crazy.
It's a testament to your hard work, too, Martha. There's no doubt about that. And kind of on that point, every kind of athlete we talk to going that transition from high school to college, one of the things they always say first that they have to get used to is the speed of the game. What are some of the things that was, your biggest transition for you from that high school level to your first year at Mississippi State?
My biggest transition was speed. That is a big part of it because everyone is so much faster and then stronger, too. The thing is, I thought, going into college, I was already strong. And then I'm going against post players that are, 200 pounds and, just so much bigger than me. So that was a huge part. And also, basketball IQ. You have to have a really good basketball IQ, to play in the league we play in, or just any league, honestly. So that was a really big adjustment for me, and I honestly thought I had it all together going into college. I was, thinking I'm going to come in and do this, do that, but it was hard, though. I had a reality check my freshman year.
And I'm sure that's something that just you keep working on every year because, as you mentioned, now that you guys are getting better as a team, that helps you by taking some pressure off. But obviously, defensive coaches defensively in the league are looking at ways probably to throw different looks at you, I would imagine, to try and frustrate you down on the block.
Sure. And, teams did a really good job of taking what I do best away from me. The games where I scored, under 10 points or just stuff like that. Teams do a great job on their scout, and she does this move a lot. I take this away from her. She can't do it. Not she can't do that, but she won't do this move. So let her go to her left hand, stuff like that. So yeah, teams have done a good job. A few teams have done a pretty good job of taking me away some games.
Well, and that's part of just. It doesn't matter how many years of experience you have. There's always some new wrinkle or something that a team just. That's what they work on, and I would imagine that once you probably think you've seen everything, something else comes along, and you're probably like, whoa, where'd they come from?
Exactly.
So as you prepare here for your senior season, what are some of the things that Martha Alwal is going to work on here going into your senior season with Mississippi State?
Personal stuff I need to work on is my offense. I think that I need to be a more polished player. And I think that I need to be able to score better against triple and double teams. I need to work on stuff like that. And I really want to work on being able to drive to the basket and shooting 17-footers. I think if I can do that, it's going to make me more of a threat. So I need to work on that. And I think if I can do that, then our team is going to go to the next level. We're going to make the NCAA tournament and go further. And that's honestly one of my biggest goals. I want to go to the dance.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm striving for right now.
Absolutely. I was going to also I wanted to ask, I would imagine a tough transition too for a player is, when you're a focal point of the offense and you get that attention, I would imagine it's got to be just difficult, and maybe it just comes on experience and kind of the flow of the game about, when to pass out of double teams or when to take that shot. I always kind of imagine that that's just something that, comes with practice and repetition and maybe just how you're feeling in the moment of the game.
Right, and then Coach Schaefer does a great job of practice. Like whenever we're going through drills or we're playing like 5-on-5 against each other or scrimmaging during practice, he'll have like the scout guys like double team me all the time and then leave our fours open because that is what most teams do. They'll let our 4 players go, let them shoot whatever they want, and they'll try like to have the other person like sag down and help on me. So with him doing that, like it helps in games because I'm going against guys in practice when this is happening. So and if I can do a good job against the guys in practice, like I know it'll be so much easier in a game. Because I'll be going against girls, not saying anything about girls. It's just, I think it's a lot easier to go against guys and just like, I don't know, like pass the ball and stuff like that and like try to break a double and triple team and stuff. So really that goes back to Coach Schaefer because he makes it easier on me for making me go through all that stuff in practice.
Right. Well, once again, Martha Alwal, our guest on Tri-State Sports Talk. Martha, let me ask you a few other questions like, Martha Alwal, what's Martha's favorite food? What's your most when you get to kind of go away, because I know college athletes, they kind of watch closely what you eat, but when you get a chance to splurge, what's Martha's favorite food?
Chipotle is my favorite restaurant ever. Oh my gosh. Like if I could eat that every single day, I would. I love that place. And then anything with like cheese, if that makes sense, like macaroni and cheese,
right.
Cheese pizza, nachos, like cheese quesadillas. Like I'm obsessed with cheese. It's not the healthiest, but that's my favorite stuff ever. And then chocolate.
Wow, who doesn't love chocolate? Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, obviously, I know basketball is a big part of your life. What are some of your other hobbies, or what do you like to do to just, because every athlete, I think, needs to do something every once in a while to kind of just take a step back and, when you get that chance to decompress, what are some other things you like to do besides basketball?
When the little time that we do have, I like either reading, sleeping, or watching Netflix. I'm always doing one of the three. Like you will always catch me doing one of the three. So those are my hobbies. They're not very fun, but that's what I do in my spare time.
All three have sound good to me, and especially the sleeping and Netflix thing. I do that quite a bit myself. So.
Exactly.
Martha, what was like maybe one of the biggest cultural shock difference when you come, because like you said, you're from Minnesota, you're going down to Mississippi. What were some of the what was something culturally that you just didn't know about Mississippi when you first went down there?
The way people talk, when people are when you go down south, people are going to be country and they talk I don't want to say hillbilly in a bad way, but country. Sometimes you run into the most country people down there, and I have absolutely no clue what they're talking about. And their slang sometimes is so different, and
right.
The food, the food is so good, but it's completely different from what we eat up here. And I had a hard time adjusting that actually, because I wanted food from up here so bad, and it's soul food all the time, fried catfish, cornbread, all that stuff.
Right.
So that was huge. That was a big difference. And also the weather. The weather up here and down there, the difference between it is insane.
Oh, I could only imagine. I can't even cover. I can't even imagine. I'll be honest. I don't know.
Right. I've been up here the past couple of days, and I've been dying. I feel like it's below zero.
20.
Everyone else it's not that cold. I'm it is cold. It's freezing. I can't make it. I'm not going to make it. So when I come back up here, it's just a lot. It's hard for me to adjust.
Right. That's amazing what your body gets used to. You just kind of. You get
right.
us Minnesotans. You live in winter conditions for what seems like 8 months of the year. You kind of get used to it.
Right. And I was in the shorts and stuff in February and March, and then coming down here, and you just can't do that. You can't.
Right.
So cold.
Once again, yeah. Martha Alwal, our guest on Tri-State Sports Talk. Martha, open forum. Anything you want to say out there to family, friends? Got anything else you want to add here today?
I think that's it.
I think it's just been kind of fun, obviously, to watch you in your career down at Mississippi State. All us former Trojans wish you the best of luck. We're very proud of you, and congratulations. And enjoy your summer. And I know you get back down to it down there into warmer weather and back to work soon. So thank you for your time today, Martha, and good luck.
Thanks for having me.
We'll have more on Tri-State Sports Talk after this on AM 730 KWOA.